Hello, and welcome to the album sharing sessions.
Hello, how's it going?
It is a music book club where we give each other 3 albums to listen to. Every 3 weeks we go back and review said albums, give them ratings, average them. I don't have a phone anymore, so make one of you guys do that.
I got you covered.
And that is it, just a cycle from there. I am Tristan.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Timmy.
And this is it.
This is us.
Yeah.
All right. So what was on the docket this week?
We reviewed Okay, I'm Sick from Badflower, Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains, and I'm going to try to do it.
I'll pull up the script.
It's
The Head of NASA and 2 Amish Boys by Infected Mushrooms.
that is correct.
Even on my notes, I just wrote Head of NASA, so I wouldn't even got it.
Timmy gave us a real easy one for the first go at this.
In the past, we have reviewed things like Vessels by Starset, White Pony by Deftones, Tubes by McBase, and The Hunter by Mastodon. And
We'll catch up eventually.
that's pretty much the whole intro. I know how to edit stuff now, so
Cool.
I'll just edit out anything.
Hell yeah.
I'm semi-confident I can cut.
Well,
Cool.
you might have to put it to use this week.
A little bit. I did last week too. They were like, or not last week. There were like 7 or 8 cuts. I thought I was just gonna be able to post it. It's like,
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, what's been going on since last time?
Not much.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Thanks for the update, Timmy.
I'll probably take this off because it's the first time I've had the heart to do it. Me and Rev were hanging out in here for editing and whatnot, and she came up with that one and went hat. I was like, I can't take it off.
That's so cute.
But I've seen that it was in my vision, so. Yeah, I've had an ear infection, which is great.
That's
Is it from
that's
listening
awesome.
to my album?
Maybe. I think it has a weird thing to do with headphones, I'm sure. But, went to one concert, which was just Arm's Length.
Arms. Yeah, we've reviewed them
Yeah.
before.
And that's been my whole 3 weeks, which is boring. And
Yeah,
exciting.
I got a haircut since last time.
Me too, actually.
I did not.
Other than that, no. There's a funny story about the haircut. It took like 3 hours.
Really?
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, because my hair's short, and you'd think it would take 20 minutes. No, it took 3 hours.
That's crazy.
It takes 3 hours to dye mine and like bleach the brown out and color it.
My haircut takes like 10 minutes.
It should.
Yeah, well, I had to wait. I guess it was my fault. I went on a Saturday. Like,
It was
afternoon.
just the waiting that took forever.
Yeah, it wasn't the actual act of cutting my hair
It's like
that took 3 hours. No,
one at a time.
But I was stuck at the haircut place for like 3 hours.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys want to do an order like we used to,
Yeah, I think
Of,
that makes sense.
or like the one that we have the least to talk about.
Well, we didn't really discuss it beforehand, so
Yes.
I'd imagine we just go in order of
Okay.
how it was before we started the podcast.
So before we started the podcast, mine was always the first of the 3 of us. I wrote the most about this, but I'll probably just drop it to tell you the truth. I just have bullet points. A little introduction because I just kind of went like Badflower. Listened to it last week. Badflower is the band I've actually seen the most live somehow, even though I've only been listening to them since 2018.
How many times would you say you've seen them?
I think it's 10.
10 times.
And never in local areas. They always make me travel.
Never.
is
We're like in the Cincinnati, Ohio area.
Yeah, and I've only been able to see them twice here. And only once in Columbus, which is normally where I go. But it's been like a lot in Indiana. I went to Pittsburgh. I went to Nashville. A lot. But I think it's at 10. Cool. I think Mayday Parade's next at 9. And like they went to Warped Tours and stuff, so they kind of cheat. I've seen them open for I Prevail and a band called The Rex and Shinedown. They actually have opened for like A Perfect Circle. That was their first like show, I think, or like first time I've noticed or had heard of them. Like Pop Evil, Incubus, but then tour with like an underground rock scene that's like Dead Poet Society and like Broken Love, which we had seen.
And they're fairly popular like nowadays. When you say,
Yeah, they do like 1,500 caps. Where like the first time I seen them, they opened for the Rex, and the Rex only had 8 songs out, and Badflower only had 6 songs out. Pretty short concert. And then from there, OK I'm Sick came out the February after that, November. I seen them headline a 300 capacity where they didn't sell out. Then they opened for Shinedown like a week later in the same city. Seen them again at like a free like thing that our local radio station was running, where I had to go to an Arby's and get tickets from the radio host to go see them.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
And then they, by the end of the next year, was headlining our like Cincinnati's biggest mid-size venue at the time, which is Bogart's, and they had sold that out. So the growth, they hold a special place, and I'm very biased towards this band because I had seen their growth within that matter of that year. It was pretty cool. I've also met each member of this band in weird ways, where like, I'm going to say the bassist and guitarist, but it's Alex and Joey at Bogart's just walking around. The free show, Josh, the lead singer, came out and hung out with us for a second out front, like because we were just there super early, and it's just like wanting to meet the people that were waiting. And then Anthony, their drummer, they used to do a thing that at the end of their concerts they would all switch instruments and start playing the other ones. And Josh earlier in that set had moved this speaker up towards the front of it. We were like at stage us, no barricade, no bouncers, no.
Sure.
Yeah. And Josh earlier was like, I don't like where those speakers at, and moved it towards the edge of the stage. And then Anthony was like, I don't want to step on this, and fell onto us. So I didn't really talk or meet him, but he fell onto us.
But you were in contact with him.
In impromptu stage dive. But yeah, I mean they're a, I would still say they're like probably like the head of that underground rock scene. They're definitely the biggest of the bunch.
So I am not super familiar with Badflower. I basically only know them by proxy through you.
Same.
That's not up here anymore. You got me a Promise Me thing for Christmas one year. I think it's hidden under here, but I don't want to dig through stuff.
I did remember that, but like I said, I know that you like them a lot,
Yeah.
but I have never really like, oh, let's listen to Badflower.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's never happened.
On the other
until
side,
this round that we're doing here.
and to me, there's a huge flag just on the other side of the camera.
Yep, they can't.
Kind of like these.
Yeah.
Any previous experience? I know the answer, but
With Badflower?
yeah.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I've heard you talk about Badflower
That
a
is
lot,
fair.
and I never knew anything about them.
That's fair.
Apparently they're a band.
I think so.
Yeah, they write lyrics.
They've been
they play guitar.
their first band name before they went with Badflower for some reason, other than just like liking how it sounded, I think is the story, was the Cartoons, but spelled like Tunes.
Oh. That's...
I think Badflower is probably a better name.
It is. They have
I don't think Cartoons would have called.
They're one of those bands that have like an EP hidden on YouTube that you can't get in streaming. It's called About a Girl that I don't even know if I've really heard. But
okay, well, so that's the background of Badflower.
So
let's get
what
into the album, I guess.
What I wrote on my big sheet of paper was just literally each song in a synopsis on
He
it.
literally has like a huge
Yeah, it's like 5
stack
pages long because I was
here.
like, oh, I need to be.
Handwritten notes.
I thought it was gonna be 1 page. And even when I was talking to him, I was like, oh, I wrote a page and a half. It's 2.5 pages. Like, really, it's front and back. Oh, then Rev colored on because Rev grabbed my pen I was writing with and was just like, I don't know if you guys want to start. Or
Well, I mean,
I literally went song to song. I don't know if you guys have want to do it that way.
Well,
I don't remember all the songs.
Yeah.
So,
I guess you probably have the most to say. So
yeah.
So my notes is just very much. I wrote the song name and then just like what I think about it. And X Ain't a X is the first song. I think it is very good for the thing they're going for, which is like the pressure of making music and succeeding plus drugs. And it is very chaotic because of it.
So this kicks the album off.
Yeah.
And I like the song quite a bit. It actually sort of blew my mind when I realized what the title.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it was Anna, and
Yeah.
it was like stylized weird, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It looks like an Xbox gamer tag.
Yeah, like circa 2008, like Call of Duty. But no, it's like I guess I'm just dumb, but it's the play on Xanax.
It was the technically the second single, but really the third single that they released for it. So it was out before the album. I had seen them the first time like a week after it came out, and I was just like, they need to play this, and then they didn't.
Yeah, so the thing I like about this song is just how chaotic and just like upbeat and energetic it is.
Yeah.
There are some negatives that kind of over the whole album, but it's more prominent with this track, I think, is there's a lot of questionable lyrics.
Yeah.
It literally, what doesn't it open the album like?
Yeah.
What?
It says I'm touching my dick.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
I
live.
don't even remember that.
Live, when they play that, they used to start with that song, and as soon as he would say I'm touching my dick, he would pause and all the music would drop. And they would just sit on it for a while. Just make it.
So like like there's some good and bad throughout this whole album. I don't think the lyrics are particularly a great strength for this album, but musically I think it's pretty fun, like especially this track here.
Yeah.
It was honestly one of my favorites.
Jester was next. It's, in my opinion, the most like radio rock generic song on the whole thing. It is essentially just the why doesn't anybody look out for me type of thing, where it seems to be the theme of radio rock recently.
Yeah.
I like the metaphor. I think it is written better than most of that, just like like
Yeah, this song lyrically was a step up.
Yeah.
It wasn't like as fun,
yeah.
I guess, as Anna or Xanax, as I now have been. My eyes have been open to, but it it's an alright song.
Yeah. It brings out the. I feel like they do the. Like depressed, like mental problems lyricism better than most, where it's not just like very clearly like when in better terms. It has the metaphor about being a jester
right,
at the ball, and
we've definitely listened to some albums in the past where it's just like, I don't know if I can deal with these whiny vocals. I didn't get that from this, so.
I kind of thought it was pretty much just your average whiny emo music. I kind of thought the whole album was pretty much that.
See, we don't agree on like anything, so you'll get some different takes here.
Yeah,
it was at least not what most of the whiny emo songs are. Is just screaming about how they're sad. I feel like most of them is just screaming about how they're sad about a particular situation. But
I mean,
I feel like
that's
this
fair.
one did that much less. Like they weren't screaming about it the whole time, at least.
I do like it a lot though, even though it's like it was released as a single, it was on the radio, it was popular.
Speaking of depressing,
Ghost is next, which is the first single from this album. I actually first heard this song when you guys were at my other house on a YouTube recommendation. It was like my first introduction to Badflower was just like, it was being recommended me through the algorithm, and I was like, I'll click on this. And then I heard a little bit of it, and I was like, I'm gonna have to push this off a little bit because I know that this is going to be important to me, and I can't listen to it when I'm distracted.
and now I actually have heard this song before we listened to the album. This is like the one song from this album that I was familiar with.
It is the song. It's their one that were like, they make jokes about it now, where it was like Badflower before and after the Ghost song. It is their biggest.
It is. I mean, it's easy to see why.
I think it's their second and first most popular in Apple Music, and the second is the acoustic version or the single version or something.
People love depressing, suicidal music, I guess. Like,
I feel like it's one of the most maturely written suicide, varied based in attempt songs I've ever heard.
I agree.
There's the regret there after he finds out that he succeeded and not being actually doing the things that he wanted to do. There's all of the attempts and the reasoning why leading up to that. I think it's a very, very good song. I wrote perfect here, but I'm surprised it did so well because of how
It's not a
hard to
song
listen to
that's
it is.
like, yeah, exactly. Like, it's hard to listen to and not like super radio friendly. Like, I could see it being played on the radio, but it's kind of like one of those songs that's you tilt your head a little bit, and it's like, this is not what I want to listen to. Like,
and like radio
on my way
rock,
to work or whatever.
like let's radio rock. I'm gonna get into it later, but radio rock radio stations are like, let's play "Down with the Sickness" for the 14th time today, and then like a crazy depressing suicide song, and then like Godsmack. It's like, I don't see how it fit, but it works, and it made them as popular as they are. So I can't complain, and I like the song a lot. I wish Radio Rock was able to play, or wanted to play, newer things more, because there are good stuff that is coming out in the rock scene.
Yeah, to me, Ghost was definitely the probably standout track from this album. I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite to listen to, but as far as like their important works, it's got to be like at the top of the list. Any thoughts on Ghosts?
I didn't like it.
Didn't
like it at all.
Didn't like
I thought it was terrible. It was just describing the process of attempting suicide, and I just thought that wasn't very good. I feel like most of this album is just saying things and not using like any like metaphors or anything. I feel like they don't do that at all.
They were a jester at the ball. That's really the only metaphor in this whole album.
Some of the songs later on are pretty like blunt and in your face. I'll give you that.
It's a lot of just blunt and in your face. This is what's happening.
It doesn't leave.
It has music playing.
A lot of room for the imagination.
I wanted to know if there was any fun fact things that I didn't know about this band before I went into this and started talking to the internet and whoever listens to this. And one of like the fun facts that popped up was just like Josh Katz doesn't like writing in metaphors.
I knew it.
There you go.
I knew it.
Timmy has cracked the case.
I was complaining to my girlfriend. I was like, it would kill this person to write with a metaphor or something. Use some hyperbole.
It's weird because it is that, but at the same time, I personally just feel like it's more genuine.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's nice to not have to look up the lyrics and like figure out what they're trying to say.
I just think it's too surface level.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Anything is really. Me and Timmy normally don't agree, like ever.
It's a very cut and dry out. Like this song is about suicide. This song is about heroin and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I actually have it in my notes for like overall album where it was just like you can bust. The only like real like thing that I could critique is that the songs are like this is a Xanax song. This is the Trump song. This is the like Catholic Church abusing me song. It's very much like this is this one, and you can just bust it down that way. So when first listening to this album, I was like, this album's gonna be incredible. Every song so far is a 10 out of 10 to me. War in Love's the first one I don't really care for. I was like, okay, here's the slight step down. It's still important. It's about LGBTQ stuff. It's I'm glad that it exists, but I feel like it is written and performed the same way that Wide Eyes later in the album is, where like the music and the build up in that song are pretty similar. I like Wide Eyes more.
Yeah, this one is okay. Like I didn't get much out of We're in Love. Right?
I get that.
I think it was pretty forgettable because I don't remember it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, the first like 3 tracks were it was on a good climb, and then now it's kind of like plateaued a little bit.
They've only played it in one tour. Like they even also don't really. Promise Me is next though, which is actually my favorite song ever. Just to like throw that
ever of all time.
Pretty much until something else comes out, I guess. I can't really explain why. It's just a sad love story where the partner dies at the end. Just the way that is said and done has given me chills almost every time I've listened to it.
Yeah, they got back on track here. I thought this was a pretty good rebound after Was it? It's so forgettable.
We're in love.
Okay, yeah. After that, this was a nice change of pace.
It was also a single. Didn't really make it that far, but it's one of their most popular songs anyway. Because again, sad music shouldn't really be on the radio all that much. If Timmy has anything to say, I'm gonna prompt you now since my mom says you need to talk.
Sorry.
If I may, these next two tracks, they were probably my favorite. Like back to back. It was a good not a good 1-2 punch because they're both very, very sad. But
so the next song is Daddy, and that is when I remembered that I am putting this on the internet, and I recommended this to people, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a fun topic to talk about. I should have probably warned everybody beforehand. I wouldn't have them. But I probably should have been like, there is definitely a dad molestation track in this album. And I was like, first episode, I'm gonna...
it feels weird to call this song one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. There's something about it is so dark and like, irresistible almost. Like, you just kind of want to know the story. Even it's like watching true crime.
It's generally why I like the rock music more, like that scene where like I like rock to push boundaries and not really hold back and throw uncomfortable stuff at you randomly and be like, this needs to exist. It's important song.
And this is very uncomfortable. Like there's a lyric about like stretching out the girl's clothes.
Yeah.
Didn't Korn make a song called Daddy? And that's basically the same thing.
So yeah, it. I'm happy it exists. I don't normally go back and go like, I need to listen to Daddy.
Yeah, when I say it's one of my favorite songs, it's not like, oh yeah, let's listen to Daddy today. But no, it's like I can see that this is a good work of art.
If it's on the, I only listen to it in album plays, which like I do a lot with this one. I really didn't even have to listen to it much this 3-week period because I was like, oh, I already know this one, like front to back, every lyric. This is a song they've only played on a live stream.
Oh, they really hardly ever played this one
once ever, and it wasn't even. It was a thing that they had filmed in their own barn that they did there. So not even 2 people ever.
I guess that's not that surprising. They probably don't want to, bring the house down.
Just to skip ahead, same thing with Murder Games. I've only ever played that in that same live stream. It was called the Christmas is Canceled one. It was during COVID. Okay. They did another one called Shitfest, which was So Happy I'm 30. It was on his birthday. so happy.
Well, any thoughts about?
I hated that. My least favorite.
I thought you might.
It was terrible. It was just describing a girl being molested by her dad for an entire song's length.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
that's what it is.
That's not good music, in my opinion. Just describing a girl being molested. There was no figurative language or anything.
No, there's not.
It was just describing it happen, and it was just uncomfortable. I was just going, ew, the entire time I was listening to it.
It's not everybody's cup of tea.
I can't imagine.
I like when music makes me uncomfortable. Sad music is my forte, so it all works out. 24 being next.
This is a good song.
Yeah, it's a good song. I don't have much to say about it. The vocal run in it kind of gets annoying at a certain point. They like, I'm letting go. And I was like, after a bit of that, it's there. I don't know. It's not one of my favorites.
I enjoyed this because the somberness of it reminded me of like late era Brand New, which I mentioned on the last podcast. They're probably my favorite band. This song gave me shades of like science fiction Brand New, and I don't know. I kind of I dug this one.
Yeah, I have a music reviewer guy that I watch on YouTube that put this on like his top 10 songs of that year, and I was like, 24 is the one you're going with. Okay. I was like, I hear it.
I didn't hate 24.
There you go. That's a good message too.
Songs I didn't hate.
It's not the most. It's not daddy levels of uncomfortable. Yeah. It's a good just looking back, thinking about optimism from your past.
Yeah, I just thought it was a chill song, you know.
So, Heroin's next. Heroin, you could technically say was the first single. It was on the EP that was released beforehand. So I knew it, even though it was released as like the third single. They just kind of put it out and was like, this is already released. I'm just gonna, from what I could tell, it was just like no fanfare. It was just like, oh, this is already out. Let's just
They just
start putting it on
the
there.
album, kind of.
Where Ghost was the only one that was actually on it like before it was out. And then I guess at a certain point, Heroin just got put on it as well. Like, no, like, hey, Heroin's out because it was already out. It's like, oh, Heroin's out now.
So
No different from the EP.
I got the sense that this was supposed to be one of their bigger songs.
It is.
Didn't really care for this one too much.
Can't say I argue. I did at first when it was like they only had 7 songs out. Because I got into this band super early. That's actually how I got the red vinyl, because you got to pre-order that. It was like a mystery thing. I have the white one too, and I have a pre-order shirt that's only for the pre-orders for this album. Like, I was very early in on this band. And so when the album came out, and I've heard it live 9 times now, and I'm kind of over Heroin.
That's good.
Good for you.
Yeah. The song. It's good.
And not to jump ahead here, but we did not do this on purpose. But my album, Jar of Flies, is very much about heroin and stuff, and I thought that was kind of funny how we both picked 2 albums. Well, one, your album literally has a song titled Heroin.
Yeah.
The other is all about Lane Staley's like addiction to heroin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's all right, but
yeah.
I see the star on Apple Music and it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a good one, but didn't really care much for it.
I think it's their one that they probably made to get popular, because just the complaint about rock radio more, it seems to be that kind of music. It seems very grunge influenced. I don't know, just to me. Anything.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was a little annoying. Like, I was listening to it, I was like, okay, this is about heroin. And I looked at the name, and I just rolled my eyes.
No,
Like,
it could be about heroin.
Oh, who knows?
It could also be a lady.
I mean, Timmy's already cracked the code. They don't. They're very. Whatever the title is, that's what it's going to be.
It's very blunt and boring.
Die being next is the second time I was like, I'm recommending this to people, and it's going to be put on the internet, and I'm going to have to show my views on things.
I'm like, wow, we're getting political real fast.
I've never actually done anything political. I'm going to look real fast. I don't think I have. And in the past, we've listened to Prepare for Despair by Point North. And that song is very politically charged. But they don't ever say what they're against. There's a lot of theys. There's a lot of very vague to where they don't like alienate their audience, I'm guessing.
This dude literally name drops Donnie Boy.
And I was like, wow, okay, this is on there. I'm going to have to bring it up. This song's fun. I like this song a lot. They would play this song when they were opening for other rock acts, which was a lot of fun because you could tell where the audience, because the rock act audience is normally right-leaning. Didn't know if they wanted to get into it because it's a fun song or if they wanted to be mad at it because he's saying that he's going to...
Yeah, this kind of brings the energy back that Anna / Xanax had. It was a little lacking, like as far as the album. I mean, like it kind of slowed down, got into their groove, and then this song hits and it just picks up immediately. Maybe I'm the only one that noticed this. The guitar riff, it reminded me a lot of Buckcherry.
Okay.
I love the cocaine, like that song.
Okay, that's fair.
As soon as the guitar hit, that's all I could picture.
Any thoughts, Timmy?
I didn't like it.
Shocker.
I agree with like the whole message, but I think just saying Donald Trump is an asshole in the song isn't good writing.
It's not.
Just saying the thing, it's just bad writing.
I'm with you. I mean, it's not poetic.
I almost like it because of
at
that.
all. It is.
That's bad music.
I agree. It's maybe a little more violent than I would think that anybody would put a song out, but it's probably my favorite anti-Trump song. It's like better than Commander in Chief by Demi Lovato and like any other like
I
blatantly.
think I like that more. I don't like most of her songs.
Murder Games is next, and
Yeah.
This was my least favorite song.
another song that they've only ever played once. The band themselves, from last time I was paying attention, I think are 3/4 vegan, so they're also practicing what they preach, which is good. So like, if you're gonna make an anti-killing animal song, at least be vegan.
Yeah.
This song was way too preachy, in my opinion.
This one was too preachy, but the others weren't.
This one struck a nerve for some reason. I don't like. Maybe it's like the sound snippet they had of the dude like talking about what they did to animal. I don't know. It just this one felt too over the top.
Yeah.
I didn't like this one at all.
I do get that, and again, they've played it once in a live stream, but he's actually like since this had moved to Nashville and bought a farm and like only to save animals. Like they at least believe it.
That's cool.
I'll give it to him.
I give him props for that.
The audio running. Hopefully, I can figure out how to do that.
Shall we make it look seamless?
Wow, it's fine.
Like we never left.
Girlfriend's the next one, and another fun song. For some reason, Josh Katz really likes writing in the point of view of an incel. He's done it twice.
Yeah, this song was weird.
Just really, really graphic.
I didn't. This is another one that's just like I didn't care.
I like this song a lot too. I think it's a lot of fun. It's disturbing, but I think it's on I know it's on purpose. Their next album has a song that is the same message, but so much more detail. But he has like a little snippet in it where he's like calling out that it's not behavior that he agrees in. It's fun to me. I don't know. That's really it.
To me, I have the feeling I know where you stand on this, but what did you think of this song?
I didn't care for it very much.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't like this one.
I don't have a lot to say about Wide Eyes that I didn't say earlier. I like it more than We're in Love.
Yeah, actually, this whole like back half of the album kind of just like overstays its welcome a little bit, and maybe could have done with a cut track or two, or the last song. I know we haven't gone into it yet, but the last song is pretty.
Else to say.
It goes on 2 minutes longer than it should.
Cry's my least favorite song. It's really the only one on here where I'm like, this just doesn't need to exist. It's just a song about what crying is, and it's 7 minutes long for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if this band knows how to end songs.
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
Wasn't like the best outro.
So to shove into the extra credit song, the rumor was that Move Me was supposed to replace Cry, and I feel like there's a world where that happened and it's just everything's perfect. For like, not in a denied recession, and just because Cry's on the album and not Move Me. Because Move Me is a fantastic song. I like Move Me a lot. It was released like only on YouTube forever ago, and then people kept crying for it not to be on streaming, so they put it on streaming. And it's great. And it should have been on this, and it should have replaced Cry. Just the emotion in that song and how it's brought out in the vocals of the song, I like a lot. And if you guys didn't listen to it, that's fine. It was extra credit.
I did not.
I don't remember.
I also did not remember there was an
extra credit.
Move Me is a great song, and you should go and listen to it because it was supposed to maybe replace Cry, and it should have. But I hold a lot of bias for this band because of me seeing their growth and getting into them early. And I just like rock that is new and sounds good and pushes boundaries lyrically. And it's not a perfect album by any means. That Cry exists. There are songs that I'm less excited about, but I would go with a 9.5 just because of my very
pretty high there.
Proclaimed bias towards Badflower. It is my most biased album where I, objectively speaking, if I rated every song, I would cheat and like promise me like a few levels higher than what the scale would do.
You promised me like a 15.
But I can't give an album that has like my favorite song on it less than, even if the other ones still exist. Just throw my bias out there.
I hadn't really thought about a score for any of the albums, to be honest. Like usually I do it when I'm typing my review, and it'll just after I read my review, I'm like, well, okay, this feels like a 7 or an 8 or whatever.
That's usually how I would do it too.
So I guess I'm kind of like there was parts of this I really liked, some parts I really did not. I guess I'll go with like a 5.5. Room for improvement. An album I can probably it's a pretty easy listen, all things considered, even though it's almost an hour long and there are songs in here that I don't enjoy. It never felt like that it went on too long. Well, except for the last 2 minutes of Cry, but
I get that completely.
yeah, like I said, Anna, 24, Ghost, like those were all standout tracks to me. Daddy. And then, I didn't like Murder Games, Girlfriend. The whole, last 4 or 5 songs did not like. So, yeah, I'll go with, a 5.5.
I give it a 2.
That's okay, fair enough.
Deuce.
I don't have an averaging anymore. So
I got you covered. So give us your closing thoughts.
I thought it was annoying and poorly written and gross. That's about it.
No,
So we average rounding up to a 5.7.
Okay, fair enough. Brandon was normally next. If you wanted to get into Jar of Flies, if you have any introduction thoughts.
Well, I feel like everybody knows Alice in Chains.
That is fair.
Right?
I didn't.
You did not.
I know of them because I've heard you talk of them.
You don't know Alice in Chains?
No.
All right. Well,
I
I thought we would just skip this part because it's like this is one of the most famous bands of the 90s.
They are the big 4 of grunge.
Yeah.
I never listened to very much grunge.
I don't either. Rock radio does. Me and Brandon have seen them. They were doing a tour close to here where they did like a 4-pack of tickets for pretty cheap, and we got in for like $17 a piece. They were with Korn and Fever 333 and Under Oath, which is a weird lineup.
But it was a really good show.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm just a little shocked that Timmy's doesn't know anything about Alice in Chains.
There's a lot of bands.
Rock radio likes them a lot.
They do.
If you listen to rock radio, you'd know at least like 3 of the 7 songs on this.
I don't listen to any radio station.
I don't anymore.
Let me ask you this: when you listened to this EP, was anything familiar? Like
it reminded me of other songs, but I didn't recognize any of the songs on this EP.
Great. Okay. So I don't necessarily want to go track by track on this one.
I didn't write track by
I just
track.
want to. So this is a weird album / EP for me because I think the first half of this EP is amazing. From Rotten Apple to No Excuses is it's all 10 out of 10 tracks. After No Excuses, it gets weird.
Is that where Whale?
Yes. There's Whale and Wasp, and it's just like a instrumental, kind of a little bit annoying, like a whale guitar noise.
I thought it was supposed to be
also 2 minutes long.
whale and the instruments, which I thought was interesting.
That's what they're going for, but to me it just didn't. I don't know.
I get
feel like
sort
those
of
would pull off.
Yeah.
Right.
I get sort of annoyed just in my own head when something is already so short and it's just here's a 2-minute instrumental for no reason.
It felt very out of place.
Yes. I mean this is and it's following No Excuses, which is probably my favorite song by Alice in Chains. And then after Whale and Wasp, you get Don't Follow and Swing on This, which honestly to me don't even sound like Alice in Chains. They're a lot more I don't know. There's a harmonica.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just going from the first 4 songs to the last 3, it almost seems like a different band.
Yeah.
I thought it also sounded like a completely different band than the last 2 songs.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get that out of the way because those are basically my only negative things to say about this. Rotten Apple, Nutshell, I Stay Away, and No Excuses are all like perfect songs.
To butt in, I Stay Away is my favorite, probably on it. But mostly I'm underwhelmed by this entirely. It's one of those where I'm like, I'm happy the music group exists because I'm going to give Alice in Chains, is something I never really listened to outside of the concert and rock radio overplaying them, a listen. I don't really care for all the vocal runs in this, where like I feel like every song has like a hey ya na na or something along those lines.
That's just Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Like
It's primarily
that's Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell for you. Like they harmonize so well. They do use it pretty often.
Yeah.
And I could see why some people would not care for that and get annoyed by it. But to me, that's what makes this band work. Even after Lane had passed and they brought in William, it still works. Like Jerry Cantrell like carries this band, like his guitar playing, his lyrics, his voice. Like
still surprised that I never heard of a band before like 2005 doing EPs, and I was looking at their discography and they've done 2.
Yes, yes, this and Sap.
Which I'm sure that I know why they existed. Like 45s and 10-inch vinyl exist. Like, I'm sure it happened. I've just never experienced it. But truthfully, I don't like Rotten Apple as a song at all. I feel like it's too long.
That's a shame.
And most of the lyrics are hey ya na na.
I thought that part was pretty annoying at first, and I still kind of do, but that was my initial thought. But that was like stuck in my head like all day.
Yeah.
Also.
The next couple, rock radio plays a lot. They are good.
Yes. Nutshell, probably one of the saddest songs in existence.
But with me, of hearing them before, I've already heard them. I don't really have a lot to say about them, just that I've heard them. And normally when grunge in general, when it is played anywhere, I normally try to skip it or move. I don't really care for that genre in general.
Yeah, well, so
I don't care for really Pearl Jam or Nirvana.
That's kind of why I picked the Jar of Flies EP and not, say, Dirt, like their most critically acclaimed album, because this is a more stripped back version of Alice in Chains.
All right.
They're not using the muddy, heavy guitars on any of these songs. It's all basically acoustic.
Yeah. I actually wrote down hard rock ? Cause
Yeah. Like,
Apple Music classified it as hard rock, and it's like, this is all acoustic.
Like there's no Them Bones or Man in the Box on this. It's very stripped down and like just kind of from the heart, I think.
Yeah, I was pretty underwhelmed as a whole.
Man, like I Stay Away. Like you like that one though?
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah.
Like the violins in that, like they send that song like over the top. No Excuses, like I said, is my favorite Alice in Chains song. Period. I just love the little like
That's fair.
drum intro that it has. I mean, so I guess all things considered, it's half perfect, half I could do without this.
So it should have been like a 15-minute EP. Actually, Round Apple's like 7 minutes.
Yeah, maybe like 20, 25 minutes.
The random 2-minute instrumental really out of place with song lengths too. All the rest are pretty long.
So it's kind of hard for me to balance 4 10 out of 10 songs and then like 3 songs that are like not on their level at all.
Is this your throwing your bias out there?
No,
album?
I wouldn't say, because I'm not like a gigantic fan of the band like you are with Badflower. I mean, I do love Alice in Chains, but I'm not like going to their concerts 10 times and calling Arby's for tickets.
It's to the point where Ty only knows the music that they play live.
But no, this is like, I mean, it's an easy listen. It's like half hour, even though the last 3 songs are not necessarily my cup of tea. I'll go with an 8 just because I love the first 4 songs so much.
I wrote down a 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah. I was not feeling this one. Timmy didn't say anything. So you have a whole review and...
I didn't know what Alice in Chains sounded like at all. I actually... one of their songs auto-played after I finished this. And that was very familiar. I forget what it was.
It's probably Man in the Box.
So I was like... yeah.
Brandon sang it to us on Rock Band.
I did sing.
Yeah, that started playing. It's like, I recognize that.
It's like the one time Brandon has picked up the mic in Rock Band, and it's like vocal runs galore.
makes you want to walk to a wrestling ring.
But I was like, while listening to it, it reminded me of a few like classic rock songs or like bands. I couldn't put my finger on which ones. I think it might be like Pearl Jam. Like,
I mean, that makes sense.
They were there.
It's the same era.
Yeah, one of the songs just reminded me of Pearl Jam.
Two of the big four.
But
Alice in Chains is classic rock at this this point. Well, do you have any standout tracks you didn't like?
I think No Excuses was also my favorite. And I didn't care for Don't Follow and Swing on This.
Yeah.
It seemed very out of place. I liked Whale and the Wasp, but I like instrumental things.
I like the idea of it,
yeah,
but I don't think it
was executed quite as well as it could have been.
Maybe if it was like, I don't know, 40 seconds instead of like 2 minutes, it wouldn't have been as annoying. But yeah, again, to me, that's where there's a...
Or just not exist.
To me, that's where there's a huge dip in quality.
Yeah.
Like even Pearl Jam has a Bugs song, don't they?
What was it?
Pearl Jam has a song called Bugs that's just out of nowhere.
Yeah, Bugs by Pearl Jam is weird.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's not an instrumental, but it's strange.
It is. The less said about Bugs, the better.
All the grunge bands need their weird stuff.
I really struggled to come up with a score for it. The EP.
EPs are kind of difficult. We've done a few EPs, and I'm like, well, how do I compare this to like a full length album?
Anything I think of like either feels too low or too high because it's such a small thing. But I think maybe go with a 6.5.
It's respectable.
Yeah.
That might actually average to like a 6.
So Tristan,
that's my quick math.
You did 3.5.
Sure did.
8. 6.5. It is a 6.
Hey, look at that. I've been averaging these music groups for quite a bit. To call back to a second ago when you said you like instrumental things, your album.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The head of NASA and 2 Amish boys. Why 2?
I don't.
Well, there's 2 people in the.
Is the head of NASA the mushroom thing then?
I think so.
On the album cover.
Judging the album by the album cover, I think the head of NASA is supposed to be an alien mushroom thing.
Okay, it should be.
It gave me Stranger Thing vibes. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think when I first listened to it, I thought it was like very Stranger Things.
Well, not
cover.
Yeah, the cover.
Yeah.
Well, you want to introduce us to Infected Mushroom?
Not really.
No. Okay.
You don't have anything like how many people, where they're from.
Where on God's earth did you find this band?
It popped up on a recommendation on YouTube.
I found Badflower.
And I thought, wow, that sounds neat. And then I looked up the album. And I was like, oh, this is pretty neat.
Was it a song on this album that was first introduced to you?
Yeah, Guitar Mass.
Okay.
I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced. I thought it was like Guitar and Christmas.
Okay.
But I don't think that's it.
For some reason in my notes when I wrote that down, I spaced them out. I wrote Guitar Mass. I thought, just to, I guess, butt in and start reviewing, I thought that the parts of that song sounded like it came from Crash Bandicoot.
I think that might be part of why I like it.
But I generally don't like instrumental music at all. I think songs without vocalists or vocals at all.
But there are vocals.
Throughout.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Missing something. Which, like, we did Behemoth by Ghost, however we pronounce it. It's missing a letter. But I didn't like that as much because it was basically all instrumental. And when I was listening to this, I was like, oh, this doesn't actually sound that bad. I wish it had vocals. It would make it better.
Boy, does it have
And then when they add vocals, it makes it worse. And it takes away from the music that actually sounded good.
You mean like the little boys saying like they're here?
No,
that's fine.
Not
or
that.
At the very last.
That.
I hate that song. I'm just going to say I skip that song every single time I listen to this album.
That's like the foreign one.
It's the Muslim or like rap.
I don't know what
Islamic rap. I don't know why either, but
And like,
Is it like an Amish language? Do the Amish have languages?
Whatever it was, I wish my ears didn't have to hear it because it was not good.
That one takes major points off my score for this.
I like that one more than the other song with vocals.
What other song?
Which
I don't have the name.
Like
right
the very
now.
beginning when the kids.
No,
like,
there's one in the middle. It's like, do you have the track list up?
Yeah.
Walking on the Moon has vocals.
I also don't like that one.
Walking on the Moon sounds like Daft Punk.
No, it doesn't.
To me, it does.
If it sounded like Daft Punk, it'd be good.
Yeah.
But I also didn't care for that. It just gave me vibes. I don't listen to Daft Punk either, though. The head of
Isn't that a Smash Mouth song?
what?
Walking on the Moon.
Yes.
Oh no,
No,
it's
Walking on the Sun.
Yeah.
I also wrote down that the head of NASA's bass drop sounded like Gangnam Style.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't tell you what song is what.
I was like
also
this.
struggle knowing which song is what.
I was like, this song sounds like Gangnam Style. I need to look at which one it is. But just the bass drop specifically, I was writing for.
I mean,
Gangnam Style.
I listened to this a couple times, and it's just like everything just sounds the same.
It kind of does. It all blends together.
Like it's just one continuous loop, like that you'd see. It's like lo-fi beats on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's like that.
Like I think Chen Barvis. I don't know what that means or if I'm pronouncing that right.
Oh yeah.
I think that song is super forgettable. I don't remember what it sounds like, and I've listened to this album a lot.
You mentioned the Behemoth Ghost.
Yeah.
I like that one more than I like this one.
I like this one more.
I'm gonna use the same analogy I did with the Ghost album. It sounds like video game boss music for a lot of it, which is good in context if you have like the context for that game. But if you're just listening to it out of context, it doesn't really like do much for me. I found it's just I don't know, like a little uninteresting electronic like dubstep.
Yeah.
Like, and when you mentioned the bass drops, some of them felt like they took a while to get to it.
The music actually, it's a 7-track long thing. It's like 48 minutes, I think, give or take. And they should just, like the first song has a very clear split where the song actually sounds like 2 different songs. And they could have just made it 2 different songs, and that irritated me as well.
I was gonna bring that up as well. That one also, it's like. I actually had to check and see like if it was the next track or not.
No, and it's just like, oh, I'm still on the first one. But I didn't mind this one. I actually wanted to review this one first in the podcast just because I have less to say about it because there's no vocals to break down. I did like it. It sounds fine. It's not something I'll ever go back to because there's not something to like sing along with or make me sad.
That's weird.
I like sad music.
Well, he's saying that there's no like substance to it. I guess like he needs like a story being told, right? Or like it's something like to that effect.
I went with a 5, just to like skip it. If you guys have more to talk about, that's fine.
Not really.
5.
What? Well, hold on. What is the last song called?
Lost in Space.
And is there like a feature on it?
No, it doesn't say it on the.
Well, oh no, with Tuna.
Oh, okay.
Featuring Awa. So,
I don't know what any of that means.
I don't know either, but that was possibly one of the worst songs that I've had to listen to on this.
It's my most hated song of theirs out of everything I've listened to. It's really bad. I really like this EP or album or whatever it's considered.
To hear that it's one of your least favorites, we're at like 200 plus albums. That's so funny to me.
Are we really?
I mean, if you take the 4 or 5 people and go 22 rounds with it,
I'll have to like add them up.
We're at 3 people now. It's probably like right at 200, I would say. Maybe a little bit less, but we've been doing this for a bit. Just for you to be like out of like probably at least 1,000 songs.
Out of their library of songs.
Oh well, I was talking about the whole.
Yeah, he was
music
talking about the whole music
general. I understand.
It's like this or that Weird Chicken song from Tally Hall.
I hated that too.
I chose the
they were
people
both
that
my
that.
albums.
Yes. I was like, for some reason, my friend's making me listen to a song where a chicken's saying cuss words.
I don't know what that entire album is about. I like one song from that album.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said in my review, like, the first 4 songs are okay, and then, my God, does it go on a nosedive?
I don't know what their idea for that album was.
Drugs? I don't know. They're probably... Probably high on dust or something. Well, anyway, back to Infected Mushroom here. This was kind of like unimpressive, just run of the mill. Like I don't mind electronic music. Like I said, I enjoyed the Behemoth Ghost album. This to me felt a little lacking. It's okay, but not something I'd want to go back to. It's like I kind of equate it to like background music, like just something you throw on, like maybe you're like grinding in an RPG or something.
I was playing Cyberpunk and I tried to throw this on and it didn't help.
You
would think it would,
seems
but
like it would fit Cyberpunk.
As soon as it would like start, I'd be like, I just want to pay attention to what's playing.
So I guess with that said, I'll go with like a 3. Don't really have any standout tracks, but I do have. I think they all know what my least favorite track is at this point.
Yeah.
So.
What would that be? Timmy, you gotta review your own album.
Closing thoughts.
Cool. I like this album a lot. Though mostly just like a few of the songs I like a lot.
Well, there's only 7.
Yeah. At least 2 or 3 of them. Like I don't like Lost in Space. I hate that. I think Here We Go 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 is annoying but tolerable.
First half's actually better.
Walking on the Moon, I don't like that. I think it's annoying. I think the little effect they put on their voice, where they make it high pitch, I hate that. I think it sounds gross. But I love Bliss on Mushrooms and Guitar Mess. I don't know how it's supposed to be.
I would say Guitar Mess.
Yeah.
I would say Crash Bandicoot song.
It reminds me of like Ratchet and Clank. A lot of.
And just like that. Boom, 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 boom.
So we got Crash, we got Ratchet.
One of the songs on this album, it reminds me a lot of Ratchet and Clank, which is very nostalgic to me. And also, I really like Head of NASA. I don't remember if I said that or not.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
I don't have a favorite.
But like, I like the first
But
3,
probably up there.
and the 4th one is okay. The rest are kind of bad.
That's probably where I'm at, but probably a less of a score.
But I'm gonna go with 7.
Okay, that's a 5.
Okay, you got it. All right.
Is he right?
I don't. What Tristan?
Test me. It's a 5.
What did Tristan give it?
I gave it a 5.
7 plus 3 plus 5.
It's 5.
It sure is. We got 2 albums like on the dot. That rarely happens.
That one was almost just as easy as our Jiminy Bear Ghost one, where it was just all 8.5. Just because 7, 5, and 3 in the middle, that's 5.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It seems impressive.
When Jiminy that record comes out, I'm gonna have to actually fix this wall because the album was pressed after I made the wall.
Yeah, Jiminy Bear Ghost.
So I'm gonna have to remember where I put it. I think it's like it's here.
Frame.
Golden frame. I have other Bear Ghosts I could have put up.
It's the only album we all agree on and like.
And that is our episode.
That is episode 1 in the books.
Well, at least the review part of it. We still have to pick and do everything else.
Oh yeah.
Some part of me wants to pick out of order. So if you want to go ahead.
I don't think something tells me Timmy's not prepared.
I am prepared. Okay. For once.
He's not getting thrown into this.
He said, "Oh yeah," and he like.
I just forgot that was a part of what we do.
Timmy, go right ahead.
Okay, Good Kid 4. That's my album pick.
Is it an album this time?
Kid 4?
It's an EP.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there not a 5 and a 6 to throw in there too?
Everyone listened to Good Kid 1, 2, and 3. But they came out with 4 recently.
It was like the same round I did Modern Tragedy 1, 2, and 3, and you were like, Tristan, look what you did.
Yeah. That was the first like EP I think that was picked.
Probably. I did 3 though, so there's that.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'm still in the middle, or
sure.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I just wanted to start doing things out of order. Since we're all doing it at once, there doesn't need to be an order anymore.
I guess it doesn't necessarily matter. Staying in the 1990s, we're gonna go with Rust in Peace, Megadeth.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I felt like it was fitting with the aliens from the last album, and then there was also a song called Tornado of Souls, and we just had to deal with a tornado scare yesterday.
That makes sense.
I was looking at my wall behind me because I spent quite a bit of time in here now, and I was like, there's something that is in frame that spends a large amount of the frame that we haven't talked about. So I'm going to go with Nothing More, self-titled one.
Hey, there it is. I've been waiting like 2 years for you or our other friend to pick Nothing More.
Yeah. I was honestly waiting for him to, too, because I just think I listen to more music, maybe. I don't know. I was like, I'll have more picks. He can do it. But Nothing More spends quite a bit of our frame right there. I was like, you know what? Of all the things, like, we've done My Chem, we've done Wonder Years, we haven't done Ice Night. And Capstan and everything else up here. I was like, we probably should do it since it takes up like a third of the frame. But it's their self-titled. It's the green one. I don't know.
So, okay.
It came out in 2014.
Next episode, Nothing More, Megadeth, and Good Kid.
4.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying the artist.
Yeah.